Somebody got it.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of us. Whoever did it, good job. Here we are. So, Team Heretics have chosen second pick, which means, again, goofy draft, just a little bit backwards.
Yeah.
But we've got the J, Span the Way, the Azir, the Renekton, as well as the Pantheon. So Nako's Renekton becoming a bit of a menace here in the old LEC. They do not want to give it to him again, and I understand why, because he's going to pick Ignite, he's going to run at you, and based on all evidence thus far, he's going to do pretty good.
Yeah, and it's going to be the virus ban, third by Vitality. They're just taking that away. And Nako has been an absolute menace. Really a test here for Tracyn. I feel how he'll be able to fare up against him. Now with the Renekton gone, maybe he'll be able to do a little bit better. It could be a similar situation as with Mainter, you know, where the Cassandra is really, really scary. I mean, Nako looked great on the Aatrox as well, but not that same like lane domination as he had on that Renekton. So maybe that can neutralize the pick a little bit and make it easier for Tracyn to play lane, as we'll see what Vitality is able to first pick here.
Okay, they're going to opt for the Rumble, so not super surprising. Obviously, Nako, someone who can pilot it pretty well.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing about the whoever is first picking, right? It's like you're not going to get last pick on top lane, so you might as well pick the priority top laner.
Yeah. I think as well, like with the Renekton out, now Nako is kind of back in his comfort zone because he gets a champion that's very similar to the Renekton in the sense that you can just go Ignite and absolutely beat down someone in lane. And that's what Nako is going to be looking to do, and we'll see how Tracyn can hold the fort as he's going to lock in that Cassandra that we've seen with pretty good success into the Rumble and in general able to hold his own quite well.
Yes.
And
some of those Cassantes were succeeding against Tracyn's Rumble, however. This guy hasn't had the strongest overall start. So I do think that week 2 is an opportunity for him to bounce back a bit. We've seen one good game from him. It was on the Ambessa, obviously the takedown of GX and Isma's jungle Malphite. But now you've got the Cassandra, you've got the Ryze, and Ryze looked great last week for Serin. So ready to see how Vitality want to respond to this. See if they can shut Humanoid down or set Humanoid for success, rather.
Yeah, I mean, with the Ryze, you can definitely alleviate some of that pressure from the Rumble. Can always look to roam top once you get that mid-prio.
Wukong.
Yeah, decent combination there.
What's next on the Control Mage tier list?
I mean, Orianna's out, Azir is out. Yeah, Taliyah could be a decent option. You don't have that great setup from your jungler, but looks like that's just going to be the go-to. So you get that global to match the Ryze. Yep. You have very good damage, good CC. Yeah, Taliyah's just OP, actually.
She's really strong.
Yeah.
Against Ryze with Phase Rush, it can be really tricky, though. You have to be careful. Once he starts to zoom, it's pretty tough to connect with a lot of Taliyah's key abilities.
Yeah.
We'll keep an eye on that landing phase, see how well Humanoid can perform. But we got some nice setup here. You got the semi-global from Taliyah. You've got the Wukong ulti paired with the Rumble. You've seen this top side probably hundreds of times in the last few years. But Team Heretics, they liked what they saw last week. So they're giving it a bit of the old run back with Sheo on the Mundo in the jungle. And again, Mundo really good against magic damage champions. Really good at limited forms of CC. You can just tank the first... the seismic shove or the cyclone from the Wukong. So this feels like a pretty ace pick in terms of what Vitality are showing topside.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised because it doesn't like immediately speak to you as a Rumble angle or as a Mundo angle, I mean. But I think especially now you could look to target some high DPS ADCs as well and get those off the board. And that way this Mundo can be really, really unkillable in this game. And it makes sense that they're gravitating towards this mid jungle that worked well for them in the game against Giant X. They also had the Ryze and the Dr. Mundo in that one, and now, I mean, Sheo for me had a bit of a rough start. He didn't really come off as that carry player that we saw him be last split. I think he was just such a pivotal player for Team Heretics and by far their best performing player that we really had high regards for him and had high hopes. And he did not live up to them, but I think now on the Dr. Mundo looked a lot better last week. Maybe that's been kind of his confidence pick and a way for him to regain his footing. The Corki and the Rakan band and then Karma on the other side, not really choosing to take away any of those high damage hyper carries, instead just choosing to take away some of the stronger laning options. And the Karma band makes a lot of sense because Team Heretics already has such a strong front line, and Karma is fantastic into Rumble because whenever Rumble puts down that equalizer, Karma can then choose to use that mantra and the shield on her whole team to both shield the damage and give them movement speed to get out of it.
Yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense there. As we'll see what Ice chooses to blind pick here, as I'm assuming they're going to look for that last pick support.
Give Stend a few more options. But I like what you're saying. Now, Ice was in the Varus last time they picked here. Scaling has always been kind of what we've known Ice to be for, was a bit of an insurance policy during his time on BDS. And could look to be the same here for Team Heretics. Now, one of the nice things about Aphelios is that Jack will get to speak again this cast, and he really does love speaking.
Yeah,
but Purple
nice.
Gun does give you a bit of setup, which they are thus far sorely lacking. So it does give you some, like, yeah, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but the Aphelios ult into the root, or just the root itself does give you a bit of options on top of having a pretty good scaling threat. And they banned the Corki away just to make sure the lane is easier, but Carzzy is not interested in making the lane Okay, we're fist fighting, never mind. Aphelios gets no time to sit, scale, be comfortable. I thought we were gonna handshake. There are no handshakes happening. Well, there is now, because Renata's here, but otherwise there's no handshaking on the scaling.
Oh my god, Kalista Renata, what year is it? It's been a while since we've seen this bot lane pulled out here, but it has such strong explosive firepower, and it really, they're picking this duo here to try to shut down this Aphelios, and now Stend needs to find some sort of pick. It's going to be the Thresh, which has a really good laning phase to provide some safety for the Aphelios later on. Drakos is not a fan.
No, you know how I feel about a Thresh. I've explained it to you before. When you're winning the game, Thresh feels like the most broken sport in the world. Every other stage of the game, Thresh feels kind of meh.
I mean, the problem is that they don't have many great options here. I think they could have went Rakan, but they themselves banned out the Rakan. Now, Rakan is not good into Renata, but it's a very safe support that can always kind of survive lane. But with the Karma and the Nako out, you have not really many ranged options that are great with Aphelios. You could have went for the Lulu. I think maybe the Lulu would have maybe made more sense, as you then have even greater scaling for this Aphelios. But with the Thresh, they have a lot of ganking options for Sheo if he ever comes behind. Stend can lantern him in and look to flash in. And overall, I think we can keep the camera pretty much locked on bot lane. I think a lot of action will be happening. Carzzy, my prediction would be Carzzy's either going to be like 5-0 this game, or he's going to be 0-5.
That's what I like to hear. Those are the stakes I like to have set for the early game. All right, all eyes on the bottom side of the map. Kalista Renata, notorious powerhouse 2v2. And honestly, Aphelios Thresh, old school kind of scaling option. The Thresh offering that additional mobility in the form of the Lantern that Aphelios so sorely lacks. And we'll see if Ice and Stend are on the same page, if they can make the 2v2 work as we get ready for our third game of the day here. Look at that angle.
Wow. Yeah, so we jump right into it. I mean, Aphelios Thresh has also been infamous for being a great bot lane duo, not just in the later stages, but in lane as well, as you can always set up that Thresh hook with the purple root. And crucially, Ice deciding to go for the barrier instead of the cleanse up against all of Renata's CC. That allows him to have a little bit more survivability, while in contrast, Carzzy is sitting on the cleanse, worried about that Ryze root and the Thresh hook, which allows him to be a little bit less scared of the CC, but at the same time, barrier advantage for Ice should allow them to play a little bit more aggressive in that early game. As Lyncas is off to an early cheese here, but he's going to get spotted by the ward, and we'll see how Team Heretics can respond to this Raptor start from Lyncas.
Keep an eye on it, of course, as the game progresses. Sheo wants to just kind of agree to the split map that is more or less being proposed by Lyncas as he invades on the opposite side. Level 1, always a bit tricky for Aphelios. The early guns are so good for landing, but you don't actually have an ability yet.
Yeah.
And also, you're playing against a Kalista. Well, you've got the extra sustain. Nice to have the fleet footwork. Lethal tempo wins a lot of early game trades.
Yeah.
If you're going to do more than 1 or 2 autos.
I mean, the big thing when you're playing this matchup as Aphelios is it is just like a scaling sort of answer into the Kalista. You're going to be losing in the early game unless you get some crazy spacing out trades with that extra range from the green gun. But due to the fact that Kalista just has so much more all-in power and the strength of the Renata, it's really hard for this Aphelios to do anything in the early stages. And it's not really up until they get that blue-purple that I've really got my eyes out to see if they can make something happen in this bot side. As it is going to be, Lyncas ended up just going for the Raptors and then going back to his own jungle and securing his own Raptors. Already cleanse burned from
Nice
Carzzy.
handshake. Actually getting a bit of extra poke there. Forcing the cleanse out from Carzzy, definitely good to have, but might be tough to follow up on as Vitality are already crashing this wave into tower. You highlighted it well, though, Jack. He only took the Raptors, moved up to topside. This makes Lyncas' pathing, or Lyncas' initial clear, a little bit slow. He's just spent a lot of time walking across the map, even if he did deny that initial camp.
But what I do like about it is that it kind of makes Sheo's pathing a little bit scuffed, because Sheo had to go from blue buff to his red buff to his Krugs to then his topside. And that means that what Sheo would have wanted to do is just full clear to bot, and then after his full clear looked for a bot gank. he's not really going to be able to do that because he was forced to enter bot side so early, worried that Lyncas would take all of his camps. And then, in contrast, Lyncas is actually the one that's going to be bot side now for quite some time, and presumably going to be able to secure the bot side crab as well, which just allows him to have a lot more pressure, and you can see that the Aphelios and Thresh are not going to be able to try to abuse this Carzzy lack of cleanse whatsoever.
Yeah, definitely a tricky lane to play out. You would love to land a hook, force a short trade here, but even throwing it out can cost you a lot of space, a lot of pressure in the lane. As Nako doing well thus far in the 1v1. The CS is even, but the pressure very much favoring him, and obviously a difference in summoner spells being taken. We mentioned before, Nako, we know him for the Ignite Renekton, also a fan of the Ignite Rumble. Not too surprising, but does mean that Tracyn has to be careful of those potential all-ins, as Sheo and Lyncas might start trading blows around this bottom crab.
Yeah, Lyncas is able to get the crab here, and he's going to run to blue buff. Sheo's able to pick up the respawned raptors that are... It's pretty nice for him, to be honest, this pathing, because now he gets a leveled up camp, while Lyncas recalls without picking up his blue buff and is going to run to his own raptors that have leveled up. So Lyncas' path is... Both junglers have a little bit of like weird pathing, based on just what they would normally have, but I do think that in the long run, it will probably benefit Sheo because he gets that raptors on such a short respawn timer in comparison to Lyncas, who's now doing the same clear, but you can see much slower as he's doing the raptors, and Sheo's already finished the crux.
Made the timing suffer a bit. Ward in the brush will give Vitality a little bit of advance notice. If a Lantern play comes through, Lantern flash play, classic play. It's like we're back in Season 2. The hook connecting as well. Well played from Stend. That's the root fall up on the Graviton, and down they go for first blood. Team Heretics. Damn, that was clean.
Yeah, great gank by Sheo, abusing the power of the Aphelios Thresh there, just showing that Lantern gank and neutralizing any sort of pressure from this Kalista Renata in the early game. And now Sheo, with the Giant's Belt and the Ruby Crystal, setting himself up for big success here. And Ice as well with a great purchase. Gets the serrated dirt, gets the boots. He chose to not opt for Stormracer despite getting the BF sword. Makes me a little bit sad, I'm not gonna lie. I really think if you get the BF sword, I mean, Stormracer has way higher win rate.
But lethality and collector are dopamine, and that's what you have to remember. So people like pushing an ability on Aphelios
Ice?
real hard. Ice, gonna take a lot of damage here. Double root. Hook connecting onto a minion, not ideal. But they still got that first play, right?
They still got that first play, and Carzzy is the one who hasn't based yet, so if Ice can lock him in lane now, he's going to be pretty happy.
Already popped both stacks of the refillable though, so it is a little bit difficult. Both sides reliant on that dot is Humanoid knocking back Serin, very smart, does not waste anything on Sheo, hitting the Ryze, keeps him alive there. Does cost the flash in the end, the Ghost up shortly, but it's gonna make things a lot more difficult, especially as Serin has a flash of his own. See Lyncas waiting in the shadows, maybe ready to cover for his mid laner.
Yeah, some good pressure from Serin. Just trying to zone Humanoid off the wave, forcing his recall. And interestingly, both mid laners went Ghost this game. No TP on either of them. So that's gonna...
2 semi-globals, no TPs. We got an Ignite in top lane. 2026 is kind of cool.
Yeah. Sheo looks to solo the Drake here. Looks like it's just gonna be free.
It's gonna take a bit of time. Well, it's already taken a bit of time. We're approaching the end of that particular time.
But it's weird that Drakes, they're like so tanky, but you can still do them, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, they just up the effective health so much.
Yeah.
It takes a while. You really gotta make sure your bot lane is gonna have push for more than one wave, because
yeah,
sometimes you're stuck there for a long time. Of course, checking in on the rest of the map. Small lead for Nako on the top side. Early M-Pen boost just wants to get that extra movement speed, dodge out on some of those Cassante abilities. Bot lane, they got that one sick play, but as much as the kill is nice to have, it does not make the 2v2 much easier. You still would really like to have the support of Sheo before you go for anything here.
Yeah, I also think just with the Taliyah being always able to ulti bot, it's a little bit scary for Ice and Stend, and Stend not having the flash makes it so that he can't really repeat that Lantern play, while also having to worry a little bit more about any potential gank from Lyncas or any roam from Humanoid. And with that ward that
But
Put the little circle here.
that's that's not the
Just did the most.
you just touched a normal TV, bro. That is not the one you can draw on. That's the one you can draw on.
Well, with this ward that Vitality has,
yes. Okay. Well spotted.
they got the Phaelites and they got full control of the river. As Serin now onto Humanoid. Gets a great trade.
Humanoid continues to walk up though. That one's a
It's
a bit
really
dicey.
chunked. And grubs are up, and Humanoid needs the base with no TP. As long as Serin here doesn't fall for a Lyncas gank, this should just be grubs over to Team Heretics.
This is a big commitment of resources. Sheo is kind of just partially because he's playing Mundo, but just wandered into 2 objectives now.
Yeah.
Pick those up. The gold's too close. Serin wants to go in for the solo bolo. Flick back does hit, but it's enough damage to finish the job.
Bro, Serin's making fun of him.
Oh.
Like, Lyncas is sitting there for 30 seconds. He's like, yo, can I go? Can I go? And finally he leaves. Humanoid dies.
Humanoid dies. Look, I don't remember what happened when like the Istanbul Wildcats and Mad Lions played like 5 years ago. But Mad Lions, I'm pretty sure, won that game. So maybe that's a little bit of vengeance. Digging deep into the narrative vault there. Maybe
That's the deepest of deep I've ever heard. Like, if you don't even remember the game.
MSI or World's plans. You know?
I'm pretty sure Serin lost once to Humanoid, so that was for that.
Sometimes you just got to be ready to start cooking on the script.
Yeah.
You got to always be prepared for a potential rap battle angle, you know? Serin versus Humanoid. Here we go. Well, Serin makes fun of him a little bit. Humanoid kind of cocky in this laning phase.
Yeah. To be honest, I think Serin is the one who's cocky. He's playing in his face. I mean, Humanoid is just getting demolished.
Got it.
I don't know. Like, it doesn't look cocky to me. It just looks like he's losing every trade. I mean, Ryze is incredibly strong and has so much of that early game power, while Taliyah does have, you know, decent wave clear. She doesn't quite have the same fighting power and especially setup that Ryze has. Yeah. And Serin's making full advantage of it.
And I mean, this is one of the things about locking in, and we did admittedly see the Azir and the Orianna ban, but locking in the Taliyah with the Wukong is, normally Taliyah is so good with those pairings, the Vi, the Pantheon, the kind of like guaranteed setup and damage. But Lyncas just has not been able to get active on the map really at all thus far in the early game. Lost out on 2 objectives. Hasn't been able to match the ganks here as Ryze just continues to back away from Carzzy. Really just does not want to all in the spot lane.
Yes, I must say, Carzzy is not 0-5 or 5-0 at 10 minutes.
I think there's one thing that we've learned is that, Jack, whatever you want to happen,
does not happen.
It just does not happen. I'm sorry, brother.
I guess to be fair, with Wukong, it's hard. Like, you don't really have a crazy proactive jungler that can make stuff happen. Like, Lyncas tried to go for the Raptors invade, and nothing really, you know, like, after that, he hasn't had much chance to do anything proactive.
Can Mundo proc Heartsteel on his teammates if he gets Renata ulted? Does the Berserk last long enough?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Let us know.
I don't think it could last long enough.
I don't think so either. It's only like 1.5 seconds, right? But you mentioned earlier, right? Ice opting for the barrier does make the lane stronger. Oh, hold that thought. Oh, and in the bottom lane. Okay, nice hook. Instant play. Ice looking for the ball. Forces the flash out of Carzzy. It does cost them the ulti of Stend, but really solid hook in the 2v2, giving them that greater advantage.
Weird.
Now Fleshy can't walk back down to the bottom lane. Team Heretics are now officially winning bot lane. He's got the light gun, so he's just obliterating the tower.
Huge play for Team Heretics there, but Carzzy had the cleanse and decides not to use it. And now being chunked out so hard, Ice is able to pick up a good bit of plates and able to secure nearly a 1,000 gold lead over Carzzy here.
And this is where it starts to get scary, because the Collector Rush gives you a lot of, you know, burst damage on that ability rotation. Carzzy wants some time to win out on those trades. It's Sheo waiting in the darkness.
Sheo is 1v3 here, but he's very fearless.
It does go.
Vitality is the one that's clicking back. Even though they know enemy bot lane is base, they decide to push in this bot wave first. I think Vitality really want to try to contest this Drake, but with Aphelios having the Collector and Mundo having the Heartsteel, I think this is going to be Team Heretics' objective.
Really tough to walk up.
Fleshy gets the fruits here. He'll be able to regen a little bit. That's Tracyn gets the Q3. Ult is in.
All in, misses the initial Q, gets the flash from Nako. I think has to just be happy with that.
I mean, a great early lane by Tracyn thus far, keeping it completely equal up against the Ignite Rumble.
Sheo blocks some initial damage. Ice looking for the root there. is going to mark him with the Calibrum, has the follow-up if he wants to root Fleshy instead, turning his sights towards Lyncas. Humanoid on the way in. Sheo already ulted, healing up a lot of health, forcing the flash out from Stend. Stend not sure when he has the Lantern, but waiting as long as he can. Hook connects on the Humanoid, but Lyncas already there with the Cyclone. Good damage from Serin, wants to keep the fight going. Ice looking to snipe, but doesn't quite connect. Lantern in, but Ice knocked up for a second and won't be able to do anything else. Did already use the ulti, as you're right, Team Heretics getting the Dragon and Vitality just kind of bullied out.
Yeah, it's Team Heretics with the HP advantage as they force all the bases from Vitality. 2 early Drakes from Team Heretics. 3 Grubs as Humanoid. Okay. He's starting to get back into it. Forces the flash from Serin. Flash for flash. It's going to feel nice for him, especially with Lyncas having that flash. Might be able to look for Serin eventually now. But still, all early game objectives over to Team Heretics. All kills over to Team Heretics. A great early game by them. Their one hard losing lane was top, and Tracyn is completely equal with Nako.
Right where you wanted to be
for
Tracyn. Again, had one good game, 2 pretty rough ones last week. This one doing well, like more than you could ever expect. Losing a little bit would have been totally fine here. Dying once probably also would have been acceptable in the context of the 1v1 up against an Ignite Rumble, but he's doing even better than that. And while he has to respect the physical damage that could be put out by this Vitality bottom lane and has opted to swap, still doing really, really well. Yeah, and I gotta say for Vitality, this is a really hard game to play out now, because it's gonna be Mountain Soul for the Cassante Mundo comp.
Yeah.
And a Ryze who's also going to be pretty happy about those stats.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know how you do damage.
Yeah, and now with Carzzy being in base, Ice is going to get some plates on mid as well with those 3 Grubs. And he's just continuing to extend his lead. And I mean, this matchup doesn't get any better for this Kalista Renata. I think the biggest thing, the reason we saw Renata so much with Kalista, and I think a lot of people didn't fully understand this that well, is that it provides a ton of scaling to Kalista, because it allows her to be playing way more forward with the Renata W to revive her through death, and also just the Renata ultimate having so much value. So it's not like if this is Kalista Nautilus, then I'm really feeling worried for this Kalista. But due to the fact that she has this Renata, it's not like come 20 minutes, the Kalista's useless.
And we talked about this last year too when they made the changes, right? Like the way her auto attacks work now, they changed the AD scaling thing back. Like in general, she does scale better. It's still going to be tough, however. Tracyn now going all in on Nako and doing a damn fine job. Q3 though, not going to connect means that Nako is able to walk away. Does burn the Ignite. Equalizer used just to clear the wave to ensure there isn't any kind of follow-up dive. We'll start to retreat now.
Oh, Humanoid is looking to ult here on the Stend. No flash. He has the plan.
Blast Cone is still going to get stunned. Flick still going to connect. Stend likely to go down here. Nice little pick from the side of Vitality. But Team Heretics want to turn into a bigger fight because Ice is ready to absolutely pop off. Carzzy caught off to the side. Carzzy now set to fall. The Mikhail's coming in, but it's not quite enough. Healing there as Serin wants to get the job done, but he manages to get the execute.
Oh my God.
The reset is there. Vitality take another life.
Team Heretics are looking to continue chasing with Tracyn on the run. Vitality are going to get out. Oh, but still tense here as Lyncas gets over the wall, but you see the power of the Renata there, even though Carzzy's in the midst of it, with Serin trying to take him down with the revive of the Renata. He's able to survive, but it's still Team Heretics with the tempo gain that able to get mid tower here as Lyncas and Sheo are kind of just looking at each other. Sheo really wanted to kind of cheese and start the Herald while Vitality was based, but now Lyncas is the one starting Herald. Stend has the hook. Lyncas?
Lantern pulling back. He can't go anywhere. Oh,
he did.
That's a very sad monkey. No. Oh no.
Oh. I liked what Lyncas was doing, stopping Sheo from starting the Herald.
Yeah, but he stuck
around intelligent.
Too long.
But then he did something unintelligent and started the Herald himself.
It's been a rough one for Lyncas.
This game?
Yeah, he has just not had the presence on the map that I think he wanted to. A lot of that is Wukong by nature. Yeah. Maybe though, Carzzy and Fleshy can get a bit more pressure down onto Ice here in the mid lane. Relatively low mana. Stend is on the way though. 2026 home guards, making it pretty easy for him to get back to mid lane. Herald will finally fall for Team Heretics, and they continue the trend of taking every single objective on the map.
Yeah. Overall, a really good game for Team Heretics thus far. I think now with Ice slowly approaching 2 items for this Drake as well.
Unstoppable, Humanoid.
Oh.
Q3 ready to go. If he doesn't dodge the Q3, ooh, but he does.
wonder if Tracyn could have just ulted him off of that W.
I mean, Humanoid has no flash. If he just, yeah. But the window of opportunity here, I think Tracyn not quite confident in the flash timer cooldown.
Yeah.
Humanoid, though, still has to be careful. Pathmaker mitigating that CC. It's now third Drake coming in 30 seconds. Serin matched up against Nako. It'd be really tough for Nako, though. Ryze so mobile.
Oh, Humanoid might be in trouble here. I think they can just tank
the
this
BP
tower.
boys are here. The flash, the wall, but there's no CC for the Mundo.
Good flash ulti there by Humanoid to get out. And that is going to be most likely the Drake going over to Vitality as Heretics is choosing to opt in to going full for this top side here, getting this top tower with the Herald. And also Ice spacing now, I believe, for his Infinity Edge. Let's see if he has it completed.
He's going to get a decent amount of damage in on the top side, but Vitality are double dipping here. They protect top side as well as go for the Drake. Stend tries to throw in a cheeky hook, so good to take that away. Slow at the very least the Drake stacking of Team Heretics.
Huge spike for Ice here as he gets the Infinity Edge. Now with the Collector IE, he's going to be doing so much damage in these team fights. I think especially with the blue gun as well, if he can get a big ultimate, can really be the carry to watch in these fights.
Really speed for Humanoid means he's able to catch out Serin. Again with the Roa, it's just so hard to keep the Ryze low. Lyncas is sticking around bottom side though. Fleshy.
Oh, he misclicked the ult.
Oh.
I mean, it was a good pick, but I mean, he misclicked.
He misclicked.
It happens. Everybody misclicks.
The good news is they didn't lose anything for it other than his ulti. And a little bit of pride.
And maybe the game.
No, what?
Well, maybe there's a different reality there where he gets ulti, Ice dies.
Doctor Strange, take it down a notch.
I'm just saying, if
he's suffered enough whipping the ult in front of all these people.
Imagine if Ice dies there, Carzzy takes mid tower, suddenly it's a 1k gold swing. That's all I'm saying.
We come out of the game, Ice looks at you, he says, what if I just gave you $1 billion and you're super rich? Dang it, Fleshy. We could have been living in that timeline.
Could have been.
Instead, we're in this timeline.
Yeah.
Where I don't know if Ice has $1 billion. Probably not. But maybe.
I don't think Ice is a billionaire.
You don't know. But if Fleshy had hit that ulti, he might have been. We never know. Serin runs up, roots him. Just a ghost for ghost trade.
Wait, so your theory is if Fleshy hit that ulti, it was
no,
a
my
win
point
trade?
is
that the point?
No, my point is it's just like it's fine. Not that much happened. You don't need to like make up an imaginary scenario where this is the play that could have won Worlds or whatever.
Well, it could have.
Yeah, okay. I don't want to. We're not doing multiverse theory.
Okay.
We've all seen enough Marvel movies. I don't need someone making a joke about Ant-Man. We're fine.
Well,
we're all good.
They're making a play on mid lane.
And it might not matter. See, he doesn't have the ulti, but it might not matter because Humanoid is here. The flick back onto Ice is there. They didn't even need the ulti.
He's not getting $1 billion. He did. As they move up to the Nash, they have the Kalista Renata. Big damage from the Taliyah here. Let's see if they can do it.
In a good position to start it. It might cost them dearly, but Tracyn really cannot walk in. They don't have a mid-wave in their favor. TP now coming from Tracyn to group with the rest of the team. But again, Kalista should make this relatively easy to pseudo smite secure with the Ren. 4K getting lower. Tracyn knocked into the wall. 2K on the objective. They managed to grab it. The initial ult is there. Good damage now coming through. Swiss manages to make it out courtesy of the McHales. Team Heretics just in time to watch the Baron fall. Well played by Vitality.
Yeah, beautiful secure there by Carzzy and Lyncas to sync up the smite and the Ren. But Sheo is face checking it. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Talk to me about that timeline, Doctor Strange. What are we cooking now?
Someone check him PC.
Okay.
Well, Ice dies here as he tries to get out with the flash. And I think, oh yeah, Fleshy flash queued him in there. We're not gonna think about that though.
You're banned from multiverse theory. No more. Vitality, yes, they're 500 gold behind, but now that they have the Baron.
Should be able to get mid tower at least. That's the minimum that they really want to get here. But with all these outers being up, it should be hard for them to really get that much with the Nash, but they have 2 minutes. Let's see what they can get done. First of all, they need to get control of the jungle, need to push out some sides. They break the bot tower, that's great. Now Humanoid is going to be able to continue pushing in this bot side, hover up towards mid, pressure that. Ice needs to back off, no flash. They can get the mid tower, and that's a beautiful Baron macro right there. Although Humanoid is choosing to stay, so they are not getting mid tower. I hope Humanoid moves after one more bot wave.
We'll have to find out.
We'll find out. I mean, he could also just hit bot tower, I suppose. It's not bad.
Tracyn, though, going to continue to push for an all-in, despite the Baron buff. Sheo waiting the darkness. Stend, of course, has the Lantern to bring him in if they want. But it is really hard to get on top of the Kalista Renata. And again, Ice, no cleanse, and no Mikhails for Stend yet either does mean that Fleshy's ult can do a lot of work.
Yeah. So they're still choosing to keep this 1-3-1 type of lane assignment, which means that Humanoid is able to get some damage onto this bot tier 2, but not able to break the mid tier 1. I really want Humanoid to use his push bot to hover mid here to actually break this mid tower. I guess it is eventually breaking with the cannon, although Sheo smites it away.
Really determined to hold this.
Yeah, I mean,
just feel like just dies
the
on the
longer
next
they
wave.
can hold this, the better it is for denying this Nash. And the fact that they could hold it for 1.5 minutes of the Nash is not bad. It's not bad for them.
No, definitely not. Humanoid will finally break bot lane tier 2.
Yeah. Pretty good Nash, all things considered. I don't think they're getting much more than this, but they break 2 towers on bot and the mid tower as well. And they make around the, what, 3,000 gold swing? And they get the second Drake as well. Not bad, not bad.
Tied up 2-2 in terms of overall Drakes. Taking a look at, of course, items just to see where the relative power is. Still just 2.5 for Ice and Carzzy, so no massive spike there as Humanoid still trying his best to get the gold together for a death cap.
Definitely feels like some what-ifs, though, for Team Heretics. Not to bring up the multiple timelines once again, but
Butterfly effect.
I mean, Team Heretics had the first 2 dragons and then chose to not play for the 3rd dragon and instead, like, go for the top tower.
Yeah.
And you do have to wonder if maybe that has come back to bite them, as I really would have wanted to see them be closer to that soul, as that's just such an easy win con, especially when you're kind of like a more middling team, where playing for Nash, playing for really hard to execute macro plays can be difficult, while just having that Drake win con is just such an easy, nice way of playing the game, and that really feels like it's disappeared out of their grasp now, as Vitality are the ones in full control here, pushing each and every lane.
Yeah. Really nice spot for Vitality to be. Obviously have the semi-global support of the Taliyah. The neutral objective threat of a champion like Kalista 2 is just going to make a lot of these setups so much more convenient as long as Lyncas and Carzzy are in sync. Ice, once he gets that 3rd item, though, will be scary. That armor penetration can do a lot of work.
Yeah, definitely a big spike for him. So he should be relatively close to it. Just trying to farm up a storm. Serin as well is able to push in side waves quite deep. Still doing quite well for himself.
But we're in the calm portion of the game, correct?
We are on the calm portion of the game.
Got a minute 30 till Baron, 3 minutes till Mountain. I will say that in a lot of games of League of Legends, nothing happens this window of time. Teams fish for cooldowns, small advantages. But in a lot of LEC games, someone gets caught and dies on side lane.
Yeah. And, I mean, Humanoid is kind of known for that. So that's kind of the player to look out for, I think, if that's the angle that you're looking for.
It is true. 5 isolated deaths.
That's only in week 1?
That's in week 1.
Oh my god.
He dies alone
3
a lot.
games.
He dies alone a lot. Look, you have to respect a strong, independent mid laner who does not need his team around to make a play. That's how all solo kills start.
But if he's dying, then...
Yeah, it's not very good. But, you know, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
I don't know. I feel like Serin is looking pretty strong and independent this game.
I mean, they're both 1-1. Humanoid's even got an assist.
Yeah, but...
No, Serin had him in the mid, had him in the lane. We know it. We know what it is.
Yeah.
But Serin just
I like better how he's clicking.
He's got to click
Sometimes
more,
it's about the clicks.
I mean, Ryze clicks more, for sure. Has Actualizer now as well, which is just a crazy damage spike. Carzzy, though, also completing 3rd item, as is Ice. We're all kind of just syncing up here. Everybody 3rd items ready to go, just about.
Yeah, as they're looking to leverage control here of the Nash. Just trying to get any sort of poke, as Sheo gets some damage onto Lyncas. Forces the clone. They're going to move into Nash now to get the vision. But Humanoid, really good player actually to push out this top wave while Team Heretics are grouping on mid. So this kind of forces someone of Team Heretics to go catch that top wave.
Yep.
And makes it so that they have to drop this Nash vision that they painstakingly built up now. And that is, like, that's kind of the yin and the yang of having a lot of isolated deaths. Is that you're willing to push waves that other mid laners wouldn't, which buys a lot of pressure in situations like these. But it will also cost you in a lot of other situations where you just end up pushing that wave that you weren't really allowed to push.
True. In this case, because bot wave is completely even, though, it does just give an opportunity for Vitality to establish their own vision around the pit and reset. Team Heretics taking a bit of time before they get this mid push out.
Yeah. And you might be wondering, like, why doesn't Serin just go bot now? And it's because he doesn't have that TP, so he's really worried about enemy team starting Nasher as soon as he shows bot. So that's why Tracyn is the one to recall and going to be opening up towards bot now and looking to push that out.
Yeah. It does make lane assignments pretty tricky, not having double TP. I think it's something we've gotten used to seeing in Pro for so long. But
yeah.
Because normally you just always want your AD mid, but there's a world where, you know, because of the way that Humanoid is pushing, that's not an option. And it does really make those lane assignments tricky. That said, we're still in the push battle here as Sheo walking up, taking a bit of a chunk. Footwork from Tracyn, gives him a small shield as the Fey Light goes down. Stend with the hook. Ooh, doesn't quite connect. Nor does the seismic shove from Humanoid. But both sides really just fishing and taking turns, setting up that vision.
Yeah. Looking on this next mid wave here, as like Nako has a good flank.
Waiting. Some damage onto Serin. Realm Warp, he's forced to flash away. Serin completely and totally isolated. He's moving fast, but not fast enough. A nice pick from Team Vitality. The rest of Team Heretics now backing away.
Now they're going to be looking to start up the Nash once again. A great pick onto Serin there. He gets caught out.
I think that's a caster curse from you, Mr. Spectra. Team Heretics, 4 members in the area. Ice still very powerful, and Baron again shredding armor and MR. Back to what it used to be, so they have to respect Ice's potential ult. The hook coming in from Ice. Pullback is there initially. Massive damage from the Aphelios. Now looking to turn it back, though, as the hostile takeover. Ice flashing right in! The double! Looking for a little bit more. Sheo continuing just to run full sprint at Humanoid. Sidesteps on the briefcase are decent, but Ice is ready. Stend is ready. Pulls through!
Hey, that's Aphelios, baby!
That's 200 years right there!
Stand up! You love to see it. As now Team Heretics are striking back in this game. Ice with the pentakill. They're gonna get the Baron Nasher. They're gonna look for the Dragon as well as we watch this replay of this fight. It starts off with a great pick by Vitality. They get Serin, they force his flash, but he's able to do a lot of damage onto Lyncas, and with this new Baron Nasher, that turns out to be deadly for Vitality. As you see that Lyncas is forced to use the clone while fighting the Nash, he's taking a lot of damage, and Ice is crucial in this fight. Keep your eyes on him. As Stend walks up, gets the hook onto Fleshy, they get a good bit of chunk, and Ice is just clicking back. He gets a great blue ult that pops down Lyncas, has taken so much damage from the Nash. Ice has the QSS, perfectly times it with the Renata ultimate, sidestep the Taliyah W. A wonder class of a team fight from him.
Yeah. Super impressive stuff. Obviously the finish here. Icing on the cake, as is the pentakill.
Penta.
Straight to the point. Clean, efficient communication. Penta. That man knew what he wanted and didn't have a cleanse. He had the Mikhails, courtesy of Stend, so love to see a little bot lane synergy.
Oh, I thought it was the QSS, but it was a perfectly timed Mikhails, actually.
Pretty nice.
Very well played by Stend. Very well played.
6-1-1 now. 3.5k gold lead. Ruh-roh.
Oh,
Sheo,
Carzzy.
though, one person who really cannot fight this Kalista is Mundo. Look at all those oh, never mind. That was like 500 spears. That did not do a lot of damage.
I mean, Vitality's base is getting shattered, though, while all of this is happening. And Ryze could even look to ulti the minions into their base here, as Sheo is just buying so much time. The minions are being ulted in.
They just want to end the game.
GG.
Ice, really good guns for a fight. If they dive onto him, might cost them, but they're going to try to force it anyway. They manage to the initial flick back into Ice, but he gets out with the power of the Lantern, and again, Stend just barely keeping his AD carry alive. Siege on the base, double recall as they manage to take out Sheo in the mid lane. Team Heretics can't afford to stick around too long, but Humanoid is dead! Double kill there. Q4, Q3, Nako, nice sidestep forward. Sendo hits the hook, and that might just be it. Fleshy is here. Carzzy ready to make the difference. The flash forward. Wants to keep the fight going, but Tracyn isolates him. Looks to knock him down. A sidestep, a quadra, a second penta. To back. Ice, baby. Team Heretics bringing it home.
Oh my god, a back-to-back pentakill for Ice. Oh, Team Heretics is back. Aphelios is back. Oh my goodness, Crit is back.